Welcome to a summary of our book club meeting, The Parenting and Non-Religious Spirituality. I'm Efat Shukef.
I'm Annabea.
Hi.
Mhm.
This last meeting, we discussed the Highly Sensitive Child book. And in regard to the Highly Sensitive Child books, we also talked about other books by the same author, Elaine Aron, The Highly Sensitive Parent, Highly Sensitive Person, and she has, I think, one or two others. All of them, and maybe what part of Elaine Aron's, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, gift to us is that shining light on a big proportion of humanity, which are highly sensitive, say, highly sensitive person, highly sensitive children, and the implication for how we raise our children and how we function as parents. And part of the decision that brought us to bring this book to the book club is that many spiritually aware children are sensitive. Not all of them, but many are sensitive, and there are quite a few traits or appearance. It's not traits, appearances within life that we've in together, and we felt that it would be important for our audience, parents to spiritually aware children, people trying to weave in spirituality into their lives because they see that their kids need those tools because of those sensitivities, to be aware of this, in a way, definition label. We just talked about it, about that. But before we get into a few additional pieces.
Yeah, what you said, like it's the title already that says a lot about this book. It's the subtitle is Helping Our Children Thrive When the World Overwhelms Them. And this is what I really liked about the book, giving and shining light on the phenomenon, which we all know, but making it explicit that the world can be overwhelming. And not only in situations where you feel, oh, that's a lot, but just the way it is on a daily basis. Like just being here can be totally overwhelming to highly sensitive people. And to introduce that and to explain the phenomenon of what does it mean to be highly sensitive in a way. To me, it was, first of all, I felt like, oh, that's me. And oh, that's my son. And that was, it opened a new perspective for me. Although I just from my inner knowing, I know a lot of things about it, but it put it all together. And that's what I really liked about it, about the book. And it's also giving advice for like children in different age groups, which I also think was very helpful. For parents to understand what's going on, what's going on in children when they are highly sensitive to the world.
Yeah, I like that part of relating to the various ages, which not a lot of books do, like see the progression, how things develop, the effect on different ages. That's where the spirituality also weaved in towards the teen years, those weaving of where spirituality comes in, and the intuition, their ability to sense things, which is again not true to all sensitive kids, and not all spiritually aware children are sensitive, but it's an important aspect. I feel too that I guess if you're listening to us, and if the title calls to you, just look at the book or at one of those books. Maybe it's about you, maybe it's about your child, maybe you know another child, like your kid's best friend, and they come over and you don't understand why after half an hour when you're dancing to music while you're cooking, why they need to go home because it's noisy for them, or all those little things that make it impossible for those who receive more information and those who are more sensitive to the information coming in to be overwhelmed. So I think it's if the title calls, I think this is something that we realize together. Just read the book. There is something there for you.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that she brings a lot of examples, real life examples from many people she talked to. It's all based on research. But the beauty is that the variety, because each one of us, we are obviously sensitive, and many of our book club members and definitely the people I work with, there's so many appearances, and there is no right way or wrong way, but it's that sense of being overwhelmed by various situations which are considered normal, which for parents we may have grown up into them and found way to cope with all kinds of situations, even though we were sensitive and it was not good for us. And then we suddenly see our kids as sensitive, and we start asking questions. And you will I think none of us found ourselves in everything in the book.
No.
But we found ourselves in some pieces. We found our families in some pieces. But it brought up, and we discussed the invitation. If such a big part of the population, she talks about 15 to 20%, are sensitive, then maybe are we supposed to help those sensitives ourselves fit in? Or are we here to offer alternatives, create alternatives to ourselves? That piece of choice, what is a choice? And I think that she says so in the book, fairly at the beginning, is that you need, if you have a special child, and basically every child is special in their own way, sensitive or not sensitive, every child is special, but if you see your child as who they are, and you accept them as who they are, and you agree to grow with them as they are, then you grow together and you embrace an invitation that they're offering. We talk about this a lot. Sensitive children offer us the invitation to question things, to walk in a way that fits our family, that aligns to who they are, to who we are, not to what society defines as the right way to do something. And I think that is something that for me came up really, really, really strongly from the book and from the discussion, that we do have a choice.
Yes, and it's also what she highlights is that the labeling of society or other caretakers or parents. So if you're observing, you're easily labeled as being shy, which is not the case. So that especially highly sensitive children are labeled like overacting, being needy, or being shy, or what. And they grow into this role. And to take them out, to get another perspective on that, to say, no, maybe he's the one observing, and maybe she's the one who, after 5 minutes of noise, she needs quietness, and to relax. And most and for all, observe just what is, without judging it or naming it. I like that perspective, because it's especially this kind of behavior is in different cultures, it's labeled differently, because there's an acceptance for this and other things not. But it was a deep invitation when you have a child like that and it goes out, meets other people, there will be tons of information about him or herself brought back home that you might need to unweave in order to make them understand that's just the way I am. And this is what I need. This is what I really liked about it. And also the fact to see the benefits of it. So what does it mean for a society as a whole, or even for a family, if you have this person around, this person who offers a greater view, for example, maybe who offers being calm or offers a different behavior. So to embrace it, to take it in, and also first and for all to see, like this is what's happening, and take it serious. Like for me, it's the scratching clothes, for example, which she mentions, that highly sensitive people have a like, they don't like it.
They need to be comfortable.
They need to be comfortable. It's urgent. It's not because they're picky or what, because it's a need. And yeah, taking things serious without naming, labeling, judging them. I really value that in the book.
Yeah, I think that part of labeling is really important because labels help us. Labels help us categorize and understand who's who and where we fit in and all kinds of, and what works and what doesn't work, and apply, you know, if the clothes need to be comfortable, maybe there is also need to be a reduction of noise and so forth. But I think as parents, part of the healing we can go through in order to embrace our kids, whoever they are, is by taking those labeling, becoming aware of what are the labels that we're working
Yes,
with,
very
how we
much.
experience them as a child, and unweaving them, as you said. I want to go back to the overwhelm. We are living in a very overwhelming world. Everything is very, very, very fast. And I think that it's overwhelming also for those who are not sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think as parents, again, back to the choice, some of us have more alternatives, some of us have less alternatives, but we do have a choice of how much noise we bring into our child's life. Like how much after school curriculums is needed. Um, um, how many people do we have to have over? Being observing and noticing,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can again create the conditions and do as fits to our family. And it's not about saying, okay, oh, I'm sensitive, I can't stand the noise, I'm like that, I can't stand a lot of noise. But it's about saying to myself and to those around me who are like me, quiet is just as sitting in quiet or dancing in a low levels of volume is just as great and as a noisy party. Or also it's like twisting and changing our perspective on things that we grew up on things that are accepted by society, things that are accepted as benchmarks of things that kids need to experience. No, nobody needs to experience anything but what they need to experience. Nothing from the outside, it's all from the inside. I think what happens, a lot of highly sensitive people find themselves closing down. I know I will talk about myself. I need to make sure where I go to, what people I meet, how crowded is a place. As an adult, I've learned how to manage that. Yeah. Kids need to learn, and they can't learn, and they can't embrace the gift, the benefit, the beauty, if their parents don't create the environment of accepting that this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful container of various gifts, just like another kid may have a container of other gifts because they're not as sensitive. So it's a really important book. I think that for anyone, just the title, if the title talks to you, it means you have something there, even if it's not for yourself. And it's also a very good book to give the grandparents, aunts and uncles, friends who have comments and criticism about how you handle things. Let them read the book, and they will understand. It's clear.
And it's even a section for teachers, which I liked.
Yes, very important.
That's so it's also, yeah, it opens up the door, I think, to another to what you said. It's not like it's not a unique thing, the overwhelm. but it's maybe it's by accepting that there are people around that are highly sensitive. Maybe it's even an invitation for those who are in the general overwhelm to create spaces to recharge. I think that is mostly it, because it's and also to learn from each other. This is also what she invites. It's just like we need both to make a whole out of it, and that's a wonderful thing. So if you feel called, read it.
Until next time.
Yes. Bye.